All right, here we are. Got round 4 of Gamboa versus Crawford, and now we are in an open stance fight.
Martinez of New Mexico are the official judges, all experienced men. This is round 4, CenturyLink Center.
Okay, Crawford's heads over his lead foot. We'll see Gamboa do a rear foot step up, push off this rear foot for a jab to the body as Crawford pulls to his rear foot.
The hometown of the champion.
Now this is neat. Crawford's looking for his rear straight while Gamboa pushes off this rear foot for a lead hook. Going to catch Crawford. He's going to follow up with a rear cross as Crawford looks for his lead hook. Then we'll get some movement and a little bit of lead hand control.
Terrence Crawford. Now let's see if Crawford can make an adjustment from the last.
So Gamboa's going to throw his rear cross as Crawford rolls with it to his lead foot. He's going to counter out with this check hook as Gamboa pushes off this lead foot to his rear foot.
2 rounds that may or may not have gone.
All right, Crawford got to his lead foot. He's going to go ahead and catch Gamboa stepping to his lead foot with this jab.
In favor of Gamboa.
Okay, Gamboa looked to get him back with this jab to the body as Crawford pulls square. And note, he has access to this check hook if he wanted it.
They have an outscore sheet, but we're...
Now Crawford's heads over that lead foot. He'll throw his rear straight as Gamboa pulls. Then Gamboa's going to go ahead and feint this rear cross right here. Then we'll have some movement and lead hand control.
Official.
So this is a nice sequence. Crawford's going to leap off this lead foot to his rear foot, flashing his lead. Gamboa's going to look to time him with this overhand. As Crawford pulls bladed, he's going to push off this rear foot, looking for his lead counter. All right, Gamboa fold out this jab, head between his lead foot and rear foot, and we're going to see Crawford follow him back as Gamboa pulls, and then he's going to drop. Now, Crawford right here is going to catch Gamboa as Gamboa moves his head to his lead foot. Then we'll get a little bit of movement, lead hand control.
Chops him with the right hand, fighting in the Southpaw stance.
A question.
Okay, Gamboa's going to push off this rear foot, looking for his jab to the body, and we're going to see Crawford pull square, again, looking for that potential check hook.
And that has to be asked in this fight is...
Now Crawford will jab as Gamboa pulls and parries. Then Gamboa's going to go ahead and push off this rear foot for an overhand. We're going to see Crawford pull square, again, looking for that lead counter.
Kind of fighter who comes from a place where fighters are not usually don't usually come from.
So Crawford's going to leap off his lead foot to his rear foot, then follow up with this rear uppercut. Gamboa's going to counter out with a rear hook. Then lead hand control and some feints.
Beat a fighter who comes from a place where a lot of good fighters come from.
All right, Crawford's going to do a rear foot step up, stamp off a jab, then look to double it up.
Irrespective of their individual standing.
So Gamboa has that lead extended. He's going to push off this rear foot for a rear cross to the body as Crawford pulls square, and check out this lead from Crawford.
In the place, you know, Gamboa's been around the block.
Now this is neat. Crawford's going to get to this lead foot, drop his lead hand on top of Gamboa, and then fold out his jab. But let's hone in on Gamboa. His head is between his lead foot and rear foot, and when that jab does come, he's going to pull to his rear foot. Now Crawford's going to get back to this lead foot, look to double it up, but check out the lead hand control from Gamboa with his rear hand ready in case that jab slips through. Now Gamboa's going to push off his rear foot, throw his rear cross as Crawford pulls. And check out this little shift from Gamboa.
In a culture that has boxing.
So Crawford's going to get to this lead foot, throw his rear straight as Gamboa pulls. Then Gamboa's going to look for his leaping hook, and we're going to see Crawford try to find his check hook. Then we'll have a tie-up.
Deeply embedded in it in Cuba.
I'll tell you, even low.
All right, Crawford's looking for a break from the ref. Gamboa takes a peek right here, sees the ref staying put. He's going to throw his lead hook. Crawford's going to come up, cover, thinking the rear hand's going to come from Gamboa. Then Gamboa throws his jab. Pendulum from Crawford. And another one.
Crawford trains sometimes as a southpaw, oftentimes as a southpaw. His punches aren't as powerful when he fights in this man.
Okay, this is slick. Crawford's going to jab as Gamboa slips inside, bringing this rear hook with him, catching Crawford. Then we're going to go ahead and get a little bit of movement. And they'll reset right here.
And he's getting hit more. There's that right hand by Gamboa. Terrence doesn't look as good boxing as a southpaw.
Now this is sharp by Crawford. Heads over that lead foot. He's going to go ahead and fold out his rear straight, catching Gamboa, who, if you notice, is on his rear foot. He's going to counter back with this rear cross as Crawford pulls square. And again, a bit of movement.
As he does as a right-handed fighter. He thinks that he has a lot more power in his left hand when he fights as a southpaw.
So this is interesting. Crawford and Gamboa's head is toward their lead foot. Gamboa's going to fold out a jab, then rear cross. Now, two things to note. First, Crawford's pulling to his rear foot. Second, that rear cross from Gamboa put him back on his lead foot so he could load and throw this leaping hook. And note the rear foot step back by Crawford. And finally, Crawford's head position is between his lead foot and rear foot. So he has room to pull to his rear foot as Gamboa throws that rear cross.
And that's why he does it. And he gets there.
All right, Crawford will snap off this jab as Gamboa pushes off this lead foot, pulling to his rear foot. Then we'll see some lead hand control from Gamboa.
Yeah, he's susceptible to that right hand of Gamboa every time he switches, Colonel.
Okay, Gamboa throws rear cross as Crawford pulls square. He'll look to counter with his lead rear cross, and we're going to see Gamboa step through, shifting into a southpaw stance, bringing this rear cross with him. Now, Crawford's going to go ahead and counter with his check hook, and we're going to see Gamboa step back into his orthodox stance, bring this hook with him. Now, this is slick. Crawford's going to go to the body right here, and then he's going to pull this rear cross from Gamboa, come back with his jab rear cross, and then look for this lead hook to the body.
Well, he's not switching. He's just fighting left-handed now.
Now Gamboa throws his rear cross as Crawford pulls square, looking for this check hook while Gamboa throws his lead hook. Now right here, it's a race. They're both throwing their rear cross, and Crawford transitions quicker, catching Gamboa.
This is a left hand gets through, but did it?
So we've seen this before. Gamboa's going to throw out his rear cross just to get to this lead foot so he can throw his leaping hook, and Crawford's looking to time him coming in. Now this is neat. Gamboa's going to shift this rear foot forward, looking for his rear cross as a southpaw. Then we get a tie up and a break.
Shake Gamboa. Gamboa's on the assault, putting pressure still on the champion.
And he took Crawford's.
All right, Crawford's going to step this lead foot forward as Gamboa looks for his rear cross, and we're going to see Crawford pull square. Then some movement.
Punch really well in there. Crawford landed a solid shot.
Okay, Crawford's going to push off this rear foot, snap off a jab, catching Gamboa. Note this little drop by Gamboa in case the rear cross should follow. Crawford's going to go ahead and get back to this lead foot, snap off another jab, and Gamboa's going to look to counter, but come up short. And then Crawford's going to counter the counter as Gamboa pulls.
And that was a question, too, coming into the fight, Larry, was Gamboa's chin.
Now Crawford will do a rear foot step up, fire off another jab as Gamboa pulls. Now check this out. Crawford right here, he is on his lead foot. Then he moves to his rear foot. Just slick.
It's been a question.
Well, he's been down 6 times in his career.
All right, Gamboa throw a rear cross as Crawford pulls square. A little bit of movement.
but he's always come off the canvas.
All right, Crawford will snap off a jab as Gamboa pulls. Gamboa's going to come back with a lead hook, and then we're going to see Crawford come with his check hook as Gamboa looks for his rear cross. Pendulum by Crawford. Movement. Lots of movement.
Two undefeated fighters.
Identical records, identical knockout percentage.
Okay, Gamboa's going to push off this rear foot, throw a jab to the body as Crawford pulls square. Now Crawford will jab as Gamboa pulls. So this is neat. Gamboa has his lead hand extended. Crawford and Gamboa is going to throw their rear crosses. Then we get a tie-up and a break. And that's it for round 4.
Civilians round 4.